So we're in Santa Clara, California, here at the Craft Beverage Expo. We're speaking with the CEO of Vermont Hard Cider Company, Dan Rowell. You may know their woodchuck cider. I bet you've had some. And also my good friend here, Ralph Erenzo. He's the founder of Tuttletown Spirits. You know, what a great opening session. Really engaging. I learned a lot. I mean, seeing mead, cider, spirits, wine, beer, all represented in the name of craft on one stage. What'd you think of it?
It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun to do, some great questions, met a lot of great new people, so love it.
Yeah, me too. Ed. It was very valuable for all of us to be sitting on the same stage, comparing what turned out to be very similar experiences in developing our businesses. And what we learned from each other by doing that, we can then bring home and apply.
Absolutely. What do you see as some of the similarities that you heard this morning?
Well, we all started with almost nothing. We all worked our butts off, and most of us were experimenters and trying, to scale things to our level of operation. And we were, in a sense, pioneers out there in a wilderness of beverages, trying to find our way to get out there and wouldn't say necessarily compete, but at least represent ourselves on the marketplace and next to the big guns on the shelves.
Well, both of your stories are really interesting because, you really, as far as the craft whiskey is concerned, it was beginning to get just a little bit popular when you started it, but not much. I mean, you're a real trendsetter in this whole thing.
Thank you. Yes, well, it's been fun I'm sure you've had the same experience, watching the industries grow.
Watching it grow. And you guys took a while educating people about cider. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, there is a cider industry now, and I'm very proud of that.
Right.
And, 24 years ago when Woodchuck started, there was no cider industry. So, we spent a lot of our time and energy educating people on what cider was. And it was so different than any beers on the market. It was just very different, refreshing. People loved it, made the connection to the apple. So, it was a great time.
And part of what you were doing was not only just talking about cider and your own cider, but you were helping to grow the whole pie of cider.
Yeah. I mean, it's important that now that there's a cider category, so that's given us at Woodchuck the opportunity to do things with cider that we hadn't been able to do because we were too busy trying to educate people on what cider was, trying to convince a retailer to put a cider on the shelf. We've got 24 ciders at our cidery. We were never going to get 24 different ciders on there, so why create all those? So now, because there is a real industry and people are aware of it, we really get to let our hair down and have fun and let our passion for apples come out.
7,000 different varieties? Did you know that? 7,000 varieties?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Dan made a comment during the panel that, early on, as you just did, early on, our job and our biggest challenge was just educating consumers about our products and why they were different and why they were great. But as the industries develop, the challenge now is to tell the story, and the stories are what set the craft distillers apart, not only from the larger industry, but from each other. And the story matters. What you went through, the story behind your operation and your dedication to it, all of that. That's what people want to hear. They want to know.
The importance of bringing wine, mead, spirits, beer all together in the name of craft. What do you think the importance of this is, the expo?
Well, I think it's important because craft is kind of a lifestyle and it's not a phenomenon. It's, all of us have the same thing in common. We love our products. We have a passion for what we do. We work hard at it, and we want to share it with the consumers. So that crosses all the different categories. So that's the importance of bringing them together. And, ultimately what is good for the consumer is good for the industry. So, I enjoy a great mead and distilled products, and I worked in the craft beer industry for a while too. So, got to enjoy it all.
I like your cider. That's good stuff. What do you think? The importance?
Well, the consumers are going to enjoy the benefit of this too, as well. The variety of what's available to them in alcoholic products, not just individual products, but the whole category is greatly expanded by this growing, emerging craft market. And so we all get to learn from each other by being here and go back and apply that.